Hello, remember me? I'm back. Hey everybody, it's Venus. Welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? I think it's been a whole week since I've uploaded anything, well, apart from to my other channel, which is a wig channel, but you don't need to know all that. So today I thought I would explain my absence. Not that I need to justify myself, but I suppose I should let you know where I've been, what I've been doing, what I've been feeling, really. So, I said in my previous video that I've been busy making wigs, and I have. Later on I'll show you the result of my latest one. But I've also been saying recently that I've been going through my autistic assessment, and that's really, it's been quite exhausting. And if you want to listen to some of the process, do stick around. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Help me grow, please. Yeah, so when was it I was last there? Yesterday. So yesterday we were talking all about, I can't remember if I said what I did last week as well. Last week when I did the assessment, it was like information gathering, because it takes a lot of talking when you're doing these assessments. Mostly done by me, and like the person was there, he was asking a lot of questions. Some are a bit intrusive, some not so intrusive, some I was comfortable in answering, some I wasn't. But I suppose we all need to do some things that make us feel a bit uncomfortable so we can, grow a little. And last week it was all about communication. And I was telling him that I really struggle with communication sometimes, with things like social cues, social anxiety, awkwardness, that kind of thing. And sorry, I was just checking that the sound's still recording. It is, thankfully. So yesterday the guy started asking all about my childhood. So he was asking if there's any memories that I can recall from, say, age of maybe 4 years old until high school years. So he asked me, do you have any memories of nursery? I said, yes I do. Only one memory, and I can really remember having this thing when I was at nursery, and I really liked stacking things. I suppose at nursery it was just toys and things, and I would take the toys and have them on like this sort of wooden cart type thing. I'll put in a picture just now, and on this cart I would put in toys and wheel them over to this table and then start stacking them. And I said that because I felt it was relevant. And also, as me and the guy that were talking, I'm saying to him, I hope what I'm saying is making some sort of sense to you. And he says to me, look, don't worry about it. It's my job to make sense of what you're saying. So don't worry about that. There's nothing to be concerned about, which was a comfort, because I realise sometimes when I watch back these videos as I'm editing them, it doesn't always go in like a linear information sharing kind of thing. It always tends to go from beginning to the end to the middle, and a mishmash of that kind of thing. It's just the way I am, really. And then he was asking me, when you were in school, did you struggle with reading, writing, maths, things like that? And I said, from what I could recall, because my mum's no longer with us, so I can't ask her, and I don't have the best of relationships with my father, so I can't ask him, so I'm just going by memory here. And my mum said to me that I really struggled to read when, I was in, going from nursery to primary school and things. In the UK, well, in Scotland, you go from nursery to primary school to secondary school, and then if you want to college, then university. That's the way it goes here in Scotland. Yeah, and I said that my granddad had suggested to my mum get him to read the newspapers because that might help to, with his reading skills. And I think I did that, and I think it did help. And then we got on to the topic of primary school. And I'll come back to that in just a moment because it's a bit triggering for me. But I mean, I did share with them that because I was at 3 primary schools and 1 secondary school, and every single school that I went to, I was bullied. Mostly like psychological and verbal bullying, a little bit of physical, and he said that's not uncommon for an autistic person, which doesn't sit well with me because I don't like it in general, not just like young people, but I don't like it in general when people who don't quite conform to what society deems normal, when they're picked on. I hate it. We're all unique in our own wonderfully weird ways, as I always say. So yeah, that didn't sit well with me. And I said to him, because I thought it might be relevant, so I shared it with him. And I said, in primary school, I went through like a particular type of trauma. It wasn't physical, it wasn't verbal, it wasn't psychological, it was something else. So deduce from that what you may. And yeah, I shared that with him, and that was quite difficult for me because in the not too distant future I'll be getting counselling to talk about that, which I've pretty much waited pretty much waited all of my life for. I'd say I'm looking forward to that, but I'm not looking forward to it because it's going to trigger a lot of memories and a lot of emotions, of course. It makes me feel sick, actually, even now, just saying those words. But anyway, and then he asked, like, how did you progress at primary school and things like that? And we talked about from nursery to secondary school, and it was a bit like, well, I suppose it was like revisiting all of my youth. My youth, not a lot of it is good memories. My youth was shit. I had maybe 2 or 3 friends, not a great circle of friends, but those 2 or 3 friends that I had in school, I still, to this day, have as, very close friends. But it reminded me, I was the kind of person that, was always chosen last for, team picking at school, or, was always the last one to be chosen for anything at school, or was the last one to choose whatever desk I stood at for, practical classes like woodwork or home economics. I don't know what those classes are called now. That's how old I am. Not that old, I'm just, just saying. We're all, none of us are getting any younger. So a trip down that lane, it was quite exhausting. And doing all of this kind of thing, sorry, my phone just went off, apologies. Hubby's not in, he's away somewhere, but I'll get onto that in just a wee while. If you stick around, I'll tell you there is light at the end of this tunnel, believe me. I like to keep it balanced here at Well Venus. Yeah, so recalling all of that, it's a bit like pointing out, you know, like everything that's wrong with you. Well, maybe not quite everything that's wrong with you. Maybe things that you didn't quite excel in, or, you know, do particularly well at. Yeah, that was very tiring. And when I came home yesterday, I wasn't hungry at all, which is very unlike me, of course. I had like a really splitting headache that I just could not shift, even, you know, with painkillers or whatever, and drinking plenty of water. Before I forget, it's summertime. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, not juice, because that can be dehydrating. Drink plenty of water, because that can lead to headaches and a whole manner of lots of different things. It's summer, lots of drinking water. Make sure you're using your sun protection. Don't go out if you're, you know, prone to blotch and anything. I'm not a medical expert, I'm just saying what works, because the sun is at its strongest between 11 AM and 3 PM, so if you burn and things like that, make sure you wear sunscreen, SPF, whatever it's called, and go out after those times. Yeah, that left me pretty exhausted, and because I'm so impatient, you know what I'm like, I want things done yesterday. I said to the guy, look, I'd be really comfortable if we, you know, did this twice weekly. And this was a couple of weeks ago, actually. And so I'll be back in again on Friday. So I'll have all this well, not all of this particular section of my life, shall we say, to talk about again. What is it we're doing on Friday? Oops. Maybe that's a sign of something, I don't know. Sorry about that. I'll need to find something other than blue tack to keep the sign up, because I know that some of you are fond of the W. Just in case you forget my first initial. I can't remember what it is we're doing this Friday, but whatever it is, and if you're interested, naturally, I'll just do it, because it's something to talk about. Whatever we talk about on Friday, I'll do a vlog about it, and I'll let you all know. Yeah, so between making wigs and this assessment stuff going on, and dental work, and the prospect of counselling, yeah, my YouTube channel suffered a little bit, but I'm honestly, I'm doing the best I can. I do like to make these videos for you, because I know that some of you do enjoy them. I don't know, do you prefer the shorter videos or the longer videos? Because sometimes I feel the videos are too short, or sometimes they're a bit too long. Do let me know your preference, and I'll see if we can come up with a bit of a see if we can come up with a bit of a happy medium, yeah? Talking of videos, I was speaking with one of my sisters. You know who you are. And I was saying that I've got ideas for different types of videos, but I don't quite know how to put them together, or if I'm allowed to put them together, i.e. reading articles from online, or things from well-known apps, shall we say, just to intrigue and humour you. Also, if there's anything that you want me to read or share or whatever, do let me know. I'm very approachable, if you can't tell that by now. Where was I? Oh yeah, actually that's the thing that I was saying to the guy. Sometimes when I'm talking about things, I'll go off topic, and I think that's a symptom as well. Not every autistic person has it, but I think I do. Yeah, so on a lighter note, I've been on my own all day. I love to have a bit of time on my own, because hubby's away to meet his mum, which we're allowed to do in Scotland, so don't panic or at me. He took the dog and he's away to the beach, and he called me because you know how, so I'll just get comfy there. You know how a wee while ago one of my cats died, and it's left me feeling really protective over my other pets, and so he called me just to let me see that he was alright. And Barney. He was on the beach and he was paddling in the sea, which he's never done before in his life. And he was just, he was having a ball, and it's so wonderful to see. Yeah, I love animals, don't you? I think if I were to come back, in a future reincarnation, I would either be a budgie, because I'm always whistling, always. I'm not that great at singing anymore, but I love to whistle. So it'd either be as a budgie, or probably a cat, because I like to think of myself as a little bit elegant, sophisticated. I'm always grooming myself, either doing my hair or nails or something to do with grooming. Cats are always grooming themselves. I'm not saying that I carry myself like a cat might. You know how a cat walks very elegantly, with such poise, and yeah, I'm not saying that I walk like that, although my mum always used to say to me that I do walk with like an army stride. But when my mum used to watch me walking, it wasn't to do with that at all. It was just me walking in time to various songs that I liked. That was just my thing. So, yeah. What are you all up to? Are we enjoying the sunshine? I like it, but just for short stints. When you're someone that's on like pain relief meds, it tends to make you warm, and so that, coupled with someone that's overweight, the sun and the heat is just not my best friend. And plus, I mean, yeah, I know that it's summer. It's meant to be all light, happy, and gay. But it's when you see people out and they're like, this summer, it seems to give people carte blanche to be idiots. I mean, you see it everywhere, don't you? When you're in the shops, it's summer, let's have a barbecue, let's have drinks, alcoholic drinks. And then you see all these people go. I mean, I've not got anything against people drinking or whatever. I'm recovering alcoholic, so I've got no place to do that. But it's when you see people out in the streets and like, obviously drunk, wanting to be friends with you, want to chat with you, and you're like, please just go away. You're making me feel very nervous, very anxious, very uncomfortable. Also, like for me, it's just not a pleasant experience, because people tend to raise the volume of their voice as well, and when people do things like that, and like just noises in general, it tends to frighten me quite easily. Yeah, I don't like that. Also, it's moan time, alright? Or rant, as some people call it. In our area, right, it's quite leafy, so there's a lot of trees and plants, and there's like woodland areas in the vicinity, yeah. And because people are so lazy, I mean, these people that have cars, okay, bear that in mind. These people have cars, and yet when they're getting rid of the garden waste, they burn it. When they could just take their garden waste up to the local tip/recycling, and they could recycle their garden waste. Or, heaven forfend, pay someone to take it away. But no, they have to burn garden waste, and that's why I don't put washing out, because I don't fancy doing a load of washing, taking it out, hanging it up on the line, and then for it to come back up smelling like a barbecue or burnt offerings. No thanks. And you know what I'm like about smells as well. When there's like a foreign smell, it's a bit like it's invading my space. I hate it. Yeah, but also you can't control the temperature in summer, can you? You can do it in the winter, because it's freezing outside, and you can control the heat within your home, because in the UK, about 80%, maybe 90% of the houses in the UK, they were not built with air conditioning in mind. Because the UK, it wasn't always the country that had heat, but because of global warming, and we don't really have proper winters and things anymore, and a very, very hot summer nowadays, we need aircon. But Yeah, but about 90% of the houses in the UK weren't built with aircon in mind because the climate just wasn't hot enough. But with new builds and things, you do tend to see that. But a lot of, well, where I live, and I suppose a lot of the UK in general. I'm looking outside as if I can see the whole of the UK, but it's just neighbouring streets that I can see. I'm on top of the... No, I'm not. Although, I've just remembered, I will pop in a picture of Edinburgh Castle right here and now for you, because I took that when I was waiting on the bus to get home last night. I thought you would enjoy that. It's, in my opinion, just the jewel in Edinburgh's crown. There is a new building, well, a new version of a building that's been opened recently. It's called the St James. A few years ago, they decided to demolish it because either Prince Charles or, I think it was Prince Charles, said he didn't like it. So they decided to build a completely new shopping centre. And on top of this said new shopping centre, it's got this sculpture. And I'll pop that now, actually. I think it looks like a giant dog dollop. It just looks like a giant poo. And it can be seen from afar. I personally don't like it. I don't really like much of Edinburgh at all, actually, because Edinburgh is a really historic town, city, whatever. And there's lots of people that are building onto Edinburgh. I would just describe Edinburgh as one huge building site. Yeah, come and visit if you want to, but the novelty soon, wears off when you see all these new builds. Because everywhere you look in Edinburgh, they're either building for student accommodation or building multi-storey car parks. Because of all this surplus space that we have. That was a joke, by the way, sarcasm. Yeah, so slowly or more gradually, shall we say, Edinburgh, for me, in my opinion, it's losing its appeal. And before I go, I will just go and grab the wig that I'm working on so I can show you my progress. Bear with. I don't know what to describe this hair colour as. Sometimes it looks red, sometimes it looks like a really dark blonde, sometimes it looks like a dark reddish blonde, so tell me in the comments what colour you think it is. I've got the natural daylight coming in, so hopefully it will capture the tones of it. What do you think? What colour would you call it? I've only got this little bit left to knot, and that will be this one finished. I have another 2 to make. So I'm busy doing all kinds of things, be it making wigs or making sense of myself. That's why I'm doing all this work on myself, because I don't like anything that holds me back. And if you feel that there's something in life that's holding you back, I would definitely recommend working on it. So you could do that yourself. I wouldn't suggest that. So if there's something that you want to work on for your mental health, go and see your doctor or your therapist or GP or whomever it is that you have your direct medical resources with. If there's something that you have a fear of, you could do what I did, because I didn't consult a therapist, but I just joined a free clinic, and the way that I got over my fears, and still do to this day, is with exposure work. So you slowly expose yourself to whatever it is that you've got a fear of, work out why it is you have that fear, and then find a way around it. My husband did it. He had a really bad fear of eating specific things, and he had real problems brushing his teeth. And because a psychologist that we go to for free clinics, she actually listened and responded, and the response that she gave in 5 minutes has completely turned his life around, and he's now able to brush his teeth with complete ease. And yeah, if you have a fear or something that's holding you back from something in life, if you're able to, go and do the work around it. You will honestly think to yourself, I wish I did it years ago. So that could be the moral to this video. If you have a fear of something, you can get over it. And most definitely, if you want to. Because if you don't want to, then it won't work. But if you want to, it will work. Yeah? So do let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed this, if it's made any kind of sense to you. It makes a bit of sense to me. Plus it's quite nice to get out how I'm feeling, because it's good to talk, as I always say. And also do let me know in the comments whatever you would like to see and hear from me. I would really appreciate some suggestions, because as I've said before, you know, it is me recording and editing all of this, but without you the channel is worth absolutely nothing. So yeah, I'd appreciate some input, helpful input that is. I've noticed recently, because you see I have the privilege of being an empath, yeah, if you remember from earlier videos. I don't really talk about it much, but I thought I would mention it now. I have the privilege of being an empath, right? And for me it means I get to sense certain things. Different empaths mean different things to different empaths. Yeah. And I've noticed recently that there is someone within a community that I'm part of that I've got a very uneasy feeling of. I know exactly who it is. I'm not going to be calling them out, because they've not done anything that warrants that yet. But always be aware that although I do promote kindness and things, I'm not blind to people's faults or my own. So when I feel negative vibes of someone, I need to acknowledge that and express it as well. So I'm watching. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, like, comment and do subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you here, and I shall see you in the next one. Yeah? Take care, be kind to yourself and others. Bye!